Welcome back. We are glad you're still watching WBS TV. This is Business Forum. Today we are looking at agriculture exportation. Joining me in studio is Kenneth Bwile, and he explores the benefits and challenges involved in agriculture exportation with Eli Kamugisha, the Executive Director of Uganda Exports Promotions Board.
Another Thursday we are talking exports. Today looking at who are the people involved in exports. Eli Kamugisha, my guest from Uganda Export Promotion Board. Welcome.
Thank you.
Where does export start from?
Yes, export starts from production. And production could be at the farm for agricultural products. For manufactured products, it could be at the farm, which is a factory or an industry. So exports, like all other products that we sell in the market, start from production at the farm, which is a farm for farmland, and at the farm, which is for a factory or an industry.
So talk about agricultural produce and manufactured produce.
Yes.
So who is the first person there?
So the first person for the agricultural produce is the farmer. In our case, unfortunately, most of the farmers are peasant farmers, which brings a challenge we later see.
And if that is the case, now who produces if most of us are peasant?
You, the peasants, are the one mainly producing. We have very few commercial farmers in this country, and that also brings a challenge of how to standardize quality, especially for agricultural products.
Now, from the farm, let's talk of farm produce then. From the farm, that's the initial person who needs to produce in the export chain.
Yes.
Where next?
So you once you leave the farm, and hopefully this farmer has been taught everything that he requires. He has the right seed, he has the right agronomical conditions, use of the right weeding and pruning and all these stages.
All the farm practices?
All the farm practices were done, and all using the right herbicides and pesticides or biological agents to fight weed and pests. And then post-harvest handling, how do you store the goods after you have collected them? Then comes in the trader. Now, there are varying degrees of traders. At farm level, you'll find somebody can come with a bicycle and buy a sack.
Export.
No, not export. Buys a sack, takes to Bwire, who is now a small but calling himself big trader in a small town, and then you buy the sack. Then the guy goes back on a bicycle, brings another sack. And then there are many on bicycles bringing many sacks, and others on small, like on pickups and small Dianas, bringing up small trucks, bringing up the sacks. Now, these other trader now, then you have those ones stopping. Then you now this urban trader in a small area who conglomerates, who brings together products from different farms. If, say maize from different farmers, has a small store in this town, he will also be selling to another trader. And so for him, he has brought a bigger, slightly bigger quantity, bigger than different small farmers. So he sells again to a bigger trader, which bigger trader comes with a lorry or a big truck, buys from with a small trader, and buys from Joe and another small trader, and then he has bigger quantities, which now he takes to bigger towns. In these big towns, this trader has also got slightly bigger store. And this trader at this level could now be an exporter or still a trader who will sell to the exporter at this level. In some products, you find that at that level, most of those traders are themselves exporters.
What I'm trying to find from you is trader, whether using a bicycle or a cart or anything else, until you reach somebody you can call maybe a wholesaler trader. I'm seeing middlemen here.
And that creates a challenge.
Can't your office eliminate them?
That is a good point you are suggesting, that we want in the long run to be able to advise and help producers coordinate with exporters and reduce the big chain of many traders, because the more middlemen you have, the more money the final producer loses, because everyone wants to make a margin, everyone wants to make profits. But if the farmer was dealing directly with Bwire, which Bwire Enterprises is the exporter, then you know the producer is likely to get more money, a better price than if there were many middlemen. And we hope that we will be dealing with the exporters and also producers through organized producer associations.
So currently you depend on these middlemen who are to push the product from the farmer direct to the person ready to export. What is required of that person then?
The exporter?
The one now waiting, just seated in town, waiting for these old farmers to bring this produce together and then export. Yeah,
that's a good one. So now, in that chain of exporting, the involved businesses involved includes the exporter now. The exporter at times is not sitting waiting to export. Some of those middlemen are his agents. Some of those traders are his agents.
So he sends them?
Yeah, he sends. He goes through them to buy quantities. And when they sell to him or her or to it as a company, then this company begins processing for export, with cleaning, with sorting, with fumigating, where fumigation is required, with making sure that this is the right quantity, this is the right quality. And at that level, then he will now begin to look for export documents, like we discussed last time, and then export. But
from this trader, who is next?
From the exporter, who is next is an importer in another foreign country.
So who is in between here?
The transporter. The person now who is in between from the producer to the exporter. There is how do goods move. There is movement of goods and there is a transporter. Transporters play a big role. In some chains, the transporter, the trucks, the vehicles are owned by the exporters. In some chains, the trucks are not owned by the traders, they are owned by other companies that they hire them. And that also brings a challenge, especially those which are owned not by the which are not controlled and owned by the exporter, is that at times, like for horticultural products, you find people are exporting fruits and vegetables in open trucks, not refrigerated trucks. And that we have a problem of stabilizing and keeping the standard of quality, because fruits and vegetables are supposed to be from the farm up to the train, up to the destination. Conditions have to be controlled.
Anybody can transport, or you have conditions of who to transport and what this person need to have for you to say, now it's okay, you can carry your produce and market your products and in the name of made from Uganda, or manufactured in Uganda. What are the conditions for this exporter?
That's a good, actually, currently in a liberalized environment of Uganda, anybody can transport. Even you, we can now transport.
No conditions attached?
We hope that...
I'm asking, no conditions attached currently?
For now, I think it is a willing buyer, willing seller. Somebody says, can you transport my goods? Are you ready with the truck? You have no conditions.
What are the conditions for you? What are the standards maybe you may set if I am exporting fish, for instance?
But we advise, and we advise strongly for fresh fruits and vegetables, for cut flowers, for fish, like you say. Those have to be transported in refrigerated trucks up to the airport. And then, because then there is there are fridges, there are refrigerated conditions in the plane up to the destination. And we hope going forward that we want to go in and advise the players, the value chain players, on how to ensure quality, because it is good for them, and for profit, for price, to make sure they use the right trucks.
Since you talked of people who move from producers to somebody waiting, I want to imagine that the trucks I see on the road carrying pineapples, carrying bananas, most of bananas we consume, less so, carrying fish, some of them are taking for export. But if you look at the manner in which they are transported, people stepping on these fish, people stepping on pineapples, no value addition. Are those the conditions now you advise? There are no conditions, there are no set standards you say you must follow this?
Uganda National Bureau of Standards has set all the conditions, requirements, the standards in this country. But in a liberalized environment, you have a challenge. But what we want to come in and do, and actually, like I told you last time, we don't want to come and talk about exports. We want to come and talk about the right market conditions
For export.
and for markets and including export markets. Because those products, like you are right saying, they could be coming to Nakasero market, where most of
Somebody's
us buy.
waiting to pick.
Exactly, and somebody, when they go to Nakasero market and this guy has fewer quantities and he has a bigger order, he comes in the morning and buys from Nakasero. So we
imagine people have stepped on it
exactly,
from where it is.
From where it is. Yet exports are supposed to observe certain conditions. So we want to begin talking about markets, that products coming to markets, whether local market or export market, these are the conditions already set by Uganda National Bureau of Standards, but we want to advise that please observe. And for us it is important because we talk about markets, we talk about exports. I have observed that people buy, that they are, you can buy, you see exporting, you can even have one truck and it's an export, whether to the neighbors, DRC, Rwanda, Kenya, South Sudan, but also to abroad. So like you are right saying, we need to work with the transporters. We need to have them observe. Certain vehicles are not supposed to transport certain goods, but in this country we have not reached there.
Even maize, even the posho we eat, people step in it.
Not only do they step in it, they transport maize on open trucks, and then it rains on the maize, and you get the, you know what?
Somebody called aflatoxins.
And you get aflatoxins, which are mytoxins, which are poisons, which can cause cirrhosis, which can cause liver failure, which can cause some cancers.
Let's not talk about the negative. We are discussing, let's talk export. That's our topic. And tonight we are looking at who are the people involved in the export chain, from the producer to the person consuming, and what each play, what is the role here. Eli Kambugisha is the ED Uganda Exports Promotion Board. Eli, from the transporter now, the transporter is linking the exporter or the importer on the other side.
Yes.
And this the exporter of the businessman sending the other side.
Yes.
His conditions set are mostly Uganda National Bureau standards, as you say, mostly not within, but for your advice. This is what we need, you need this truck and so on. Now, what is required of the next person, and who is that next person?
So like you have said, you have all these players, they have transported to the exporter. They are other players in this chain who play the roles to make sure the chain connects. The next person from the exporter is the importer. But before we reach the importer, we need the advice of Uganda Export Promotion Board. You need export certificates, the certificate of origin from Uganda Export Promotion Board, and you need to cross customs. And you cannot have your goods on a plane, you cannot have your goods in the Indian Ocean on a ship, or in either method of mode of transport until you have crossed customs. But and therefore your goods must comply that they are originating from Uganda, and customs agrees that they are supposed to cross, and you sign a document which is SAD, single administration document, and then your goods then will cross whichever means of transport you are using, and the last person on the chain or in the chain, on and in the chain, is the importer. And the importer must receive the goods in the right conditions, and if there are any varying conditions, then the importer has a right to refuse them.
Yeah.
Now the cost is on you when he refuses them, they will be destroyed, or if they have pests, they will be destroyed and at your cost, you the exporter. So you have to be careful that you send the right quality, the right quantity.
If you're just advising me, you have approved what I am supposed to export as Uganda now, because your office is representing the country. You have certified that I am ready to take. My transporter takes it to the other end. I'm told doesn't fall within the standard. I need to destroy. Can we share the burden?
We will not share the burden. You see, one of the, if like there are food, fruits and vegetables, for example, being exported to European Union, for example, what happens is that you get a certificate of origin from Uganda Export Promotion Board, you get health certificate, phytosanitary certificate or health certificate.
Which you approved before I took the products?
No, what we did for us, we said these products originate from Uganda, these are the quantities, this is the name of the product, and they are destined to, say, the Netherlands.
Now, which your sister UNBS approved therefore?
No, now what they need to go to Uganda, to MAIF, Minister of Agriculture, Animal Industries and Fisheries, and get what we call agricultural inspectors who give you a certificate called phytosanitary certificate. Now, once they have inspected and they give you that certificate, you know what happens? We don't know what happens in the process. Now you transport them in an open truck. By the time they reach the airport, you step on them. By the time, because we don't go with you on the truck. No, we are not moving with you on the truck. MAIF is not moving with you on the truck. So you reach the port or the airport or the harbor, and then you have all the documents, but you have misbehaved along the way. You have used an open truck, which is not a refrigerated truck. You have, like said, maybe stepped on them. So, but now URA is not an inspector of quality.
It has to collect.
All the URA does, it looks at these documents and give you the entry, an exit document, which allows you to exit. So it is the responsibility of the exporter to ensure that the quality he has promised, the quality he is mentioning, the quality he is telling us, the quality he is telling MAIF and inspectors is the right one. If he does not, or if she does not, or if it does not, the importer, and you know the buyer is the one who determines what he wants, the importer will reject the consignment.
And it's also the responsibility of the exporter to carry the losses.
And therefore you should avoid the losses, gain profits.
This is Business Forum. I've been talking to Eli Kamugisha, the ED Uganda Export Promotion Board. This is Business Forum. Let's talk export next week.
Thanks, Bwide there and Eli Kamugisha. Let's now look at the forex rates. Today, the US dollar is buying at 3,249.13, selling at 3,259.13. The pound sterling is buying at 4,104.38, selling at 5,120.09. The euro is buying at 3,649.75, selling at 3,660.98. The Kenyan shilling is buying at 33.13, selling at 33.23. That's all we had for you this week. We wish you the best of the rest of the week. I'm Jocelyn Chibule. Keep it to WBS TV.